Morning, distinguished guests, esteemed panelists, and our audience today. So, firstly, I would like to thank you all for joining us today on a panel discussion on a topic that plays such a crucial role in not only individuals but also the organizational success, which is communication skills, right? And I'm Sophia, and it's my pleasure to be here to thank all of you and extend a warm welcome on behalf of ELSA and EIY. Okay, so firstly, to kick things off, so let's talk about the fundamental importance of communication skills. So at the beginning, have you received the cards from EIY? Have you? Yes, and did you complete the challenge put on that? Has anyone finished your challenge? Please raise your hands. Anyone? It seems that you haven't spent time to finish your challenge, right? But don't worry, you can finish your challenge at the end of the workshop because we have a networking activity. Okay, don't worry. So begin our panel discussion. I will have a question for you. So can I have the next slide, please? The question. Okay. So, because our topic is about communication skills, so I would like to ask you a question. When it comes to communication skill training, especially in the context of corporate training, so what is the first word that pops into your mind? Can you share with us? So I believe that we are all here to listen about communication skills, right? So what is the first word that comes to your mind when you think about this topic? Can I have Miss Zhang? Yes? You can introduce your name and your company so that everyone can know you.
So hi everyone, my name is Zhang. I'm M&D responsible for Similar Vietnam, a leading company in elevator and escalator. For me, when think about communication skill, maybe the first word maybe confident. Yeah, because I see that many people, even in me, we feel sometimes we feel inconfident. So it's the first challenge for us to express our mind before the public.
Okay. Can you guys clap for her? Thank you. So the first word of today is confident, right? And I need one more person to share with me. Yes, you please.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Del. You can call me Grace, and I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching for more than 2 years now. And talking about communication skills, I would think about the word open-minded. Because we're going to, when we speak in front of people or when we speak to strangers, we're going to have a lot of ideas. So I want to make sure that I will be open-minded to receive all the ideas. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I think that's a very interesting word, right? Open-minded. And I've been asking this question to quite a lot of people in the HR and industry, and they told me that it's difficult, it's complicated. Do you agree with me? Yes, right. It's too complicated and difficult. And I believe that's the reason why we are here today with all of the esteemed panelists from the HR industry, from ELY, and also from ELSA Speak Vietnam. Okay. So the next one, it is my pleasure to introduce our panelists today. So firstly, we have Ms. Nâng. She is currently the HR business partner at Sanofi. Yes, so please welcome her. So throughout her career, Ms. Nâng has been a target-driven and innovative leader, and she aims to design and implement solutions that create organizational values. And at the same time, she also has strong interpersonal skills with her experience, like working with many individuals from different countries, from different backgrounds. Okay, and I believe that she can share with us a lot of interesting insights to all of the audience today. And next, we have Ms. Nguyên. She's the Customer Success Manager at ELSA Speak Vietnam. Please welcome her. So about Ms. Lin, with her keen understanding of the opportunities and also the challenges in the corporate training. So she has become a trusted guide, and she's also an expert at steering the conversations towards the insightful and practical outcomes. Yeah, which makes her an ideal choice to be our panelist today.
Thanks for getting alive with that person.
Okay. And last but not least, we have Ms. Nguyên. Yes, she's the CEO and Head of Academic of ELY Public Speaking and Professional Development. And she's a renowned expert in the field of communication and public speaking. And she has like more than 14 years of experience in her field. And she has conducted numerous workshops, seminars, and conferences which help the corporate professionals to achieve their career success. Yes, so please welcome her. So not let you wait for any more. So let's deep dive into the core theme of our discussion today. The collaboration between human and artificial intelligence, the AI, in communication skills training. So you know that as technology continues to advance at an unprecedented pace, so it has become an integral part of our life, right? Not to mention the corporate training. And these innovations, they are not replacing human, but they are trying to support the human, right, in terms of training. So let's come to the very first question for our panelists today. Okay. So firstly, we will come to the challenges that you as an HR, L&D, or corporate professional might face. So Ms. Nâng, as an HR professional with a lot of years of experience, so how do you see the role of communication skills in your...
Okay, hello everyone. So I think communications is always on the top of the skill set that an employee, right? Of course, there are many positions that require high level of communication, but high level of communication will help us to go very far on our career path. I think communication is important because everything needs communication. It's the leadership development or conflict resolution or effective teamwork, and very important customer relations. Whenever I think about, so don't tell to me that I'm the manual packaging worker, I don't need the communication. It's not true. So you still have your college to communicate, you still have your manager. You have to set up the KPI with them, right? And you have a performance review with your manager. So as a perspective of an HR, whenever I think about development of a project that we need to involve somebody, so the person who never communicates to me and the person that have a fluent communication, it certainly pop up to my mind, right? So it's about opportunity. So I believe that as long as we live in an organization, we need communication.
Okay, thank you. So for your answer, I can understand that the communication skills is important because that's a skill that everyone needs, right? Everyone needs. And it's also support their career development, right? And I believe that all of you here all agree on that, the indispensable role of communication skills, right? And furthermore, also from your experience, I would like to know what are the challenges that you have been facing when you implement different communication skills training for your employees at Sanofi.
I have support the company to organize many training. So based on my experience, I have faced a lot of challenges. I'm not sure if it's matching to you, but I have a three biggest one. The first one is about measuring. So my manager keeps reminding me, don't tell me how many training you have to deliver. Just tell me what is the impact of the training you have to deliver, right? So for the technical skills, somehow we have a tool, we have the exam to evaluate. For example, we need a data analysis. We send them to our Power BI courses. And after that, they have a design very nice dashboard. And through that, you can see the market trend or something. But communication or influencing other. So how we can evaluate it by score or something. So it's quite a difficult question for me when I receive it from my manager. Yes. The second one is about practicing. We know practicing makes perfect, right? We are working at the manufacturing site. We have a QC staff, quality control, so their job is daily, they checking and doing the testing. And we also have a very tight schedule for them. That means exactly 8 hours they have something to do. But interesting is whenever we have some training, they are the first person who register. Very actively joining in the training. But after the training, they come back and doing testing job. There's no any opportunity for them to practice. So that is a difficult math for me to solve. Another case that normally we think, oh, I'm manager or I'm director level, I must be very fluent in communication, right? I have one employee in one college. She worked for Sanofi for more than 20 years. We promoted very long career and she be the head of department. The next level is the general director. Taking care of her specific is quite in a group and a department also. So, but every year we do the talent review. She's always in the top 3 who have a potential score, very high. So as an HR, I must think a way to develop our talent, right? It's not just keeping her there. We try to sell her in the regional position or global position. But after many interviews, she go back. The feedback I receive is lacking of communication. Is that a surprise? No, I mean here the people mention about strategic communication. So maybe at this level she's quite good. She's very fluent already, but the people we need a higher level. So, but normally that daily job her no practice, have no environment, so how she can practice this? And the opportunity never waits for you. Oh, I have a vacancy, okay, wait for me, let me learn first. It's not right. If you not equip yourself 100%, is 60 or 70%, you must equip first and make you ready for that position. So I want to create an environment that our employee can practice in advance. That's also my challenge. And the last challenge is about selections. Sanofi really invests a lot of money for the people development. So we have money, we're rich. Yeah, so, but it doesn't mean that easy. We have a lot of, we're living in a competitive dynasty, right? For example, I used to create one English class for employees. You know how is the English training market already, right? It's crazy. So I go with a very safety supplier, vendor, a very big reputation. Really, all of you have heard about it, but I don't mention here. They deliver the training in a very traditional way. That means you go into the class and you're learning. But after 3 months, my population is only 30 to 40% at the learner. So it doesn't mean that if you go to a reputed one, that means effective. So choosing the selection is also a kind of difficult for me. We have online courses a lot. So maybe I think, but online courses, some of it doesn't work well. So we buy a lot of course for employee. Traditional doesn't well and online course doesn't work. So I used to think, and I hear the recommendation from my college that is there some wine or some case that we can blend it or mixing it. So that was challenging for myself. So I hope that I can find some solution after the workshop today. Sure.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Nam. So I realized that a lot of HR professionals come to the training providers, and they said that the pain points that the budget, right? But even when you have the money, things won't get easier, right? Okay. So Ms. Lin, following the sharing from Ms. Quỳnh Anh, and as a training provider from ELSA, so do you agree that a lot of people in the HR industry, they feel the same thing, the same pain points?
Hello. Hello everyone. It's hard to say, like, on behalf of all HR professionals in Vietnam, saying whether they have the same like challenges, but these are typical, common challenges we heard from clients as well. And when they come to ELSA for solutions, we also hear like pretty much the same stories. ROI measurement is always like on top of the things that HR, L&D have to be responsible for, because whatever you spend, whatever you do, at the end of the day, you have to prove that the investment from the companies is worth spending, and the employees happy with the choices you make for them, and you serving a lot of people with a lot of requirements and demands and so on. So totally agree and on the same page with Quỳnh Anh. And to add to this question, want to maybe talk a little bit about the end user, the client that we are serving, the employees. What challenges they have when they come to training program. So when we do a session with our clients, we do surveys as well. We ask, so what are challenges for you when you attend any training program? And they say, I was lazy, procrastination, do not have time, do not have enough time. It's very like typical answer like throughout like, many years I've been doing training as well. Even when we were in the 20s, we don't have time. In the 30s, we don't have time. In the 40s, we don't remember if we have time. That's too busy. And they're also saying that when we practice, when we learn, we don't know how to practice. We don't know how to apply what we learn from the classroom to our real life situations, especially for communication skill. It's like a bit different from doing science like exercises. You can do it on your own. The communication skills complex. And when I talk to Sophia, it will be different if I talk to Lana and Quỳnh, and like a lot of things going on. And when we combine with English skills, it's another level of skills that they have to master. So in order to overcome the challenges, a lot of like solutions we have to build for the clients. And just as Quỳnh Anh mentioned, even if you have like a lot of money, it's not like just the right condition for that. And it's hard to build something one size fits all, right? We have to customize here and there to meet the demands. So that is like ongoing math that we have to do every time, even with the same client. But over the time, we have to change the solution bit by bit. So that is also challenges for a service vendor when we consult with clients.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lin. So it seems like we have quite a lot of problems to be solved today, right? The measurement, the practice, and how we can select like an appropriate training vendor for our pain points at the moment, right? So I think the next question will be the thing that you would like to hear from our speakers today. It's about how can we effectively measure the success of the communication training programs. So firstly, from the HR point of view, so what are some measures that you have applied to measure the effectiveness of your trainings at Sanofi? Ms. Nguyên.
So as I said before, I have two type of training. It's about technical one. So we have an exam or digital tool to support it, that you make an evaluation before the training and after the training and see how it's improved. It's why it's not easy, but it's still better than the soft skill. Normally we just rely on the manager assessment that we asking them. But my manager have to say that to evaluate their employees a bit higher than actually, and so that's the thing we are applying now. But I see it's still something lacking of the effectively in that evaluation.
Okay, and how about ELSA? How have you helped your clients to solve the pain points?
Maybe use this one's better. So in terms of measurement, I believe, just as Nguyên said, the feedback from their peers, from line managers, are I think the best way that HR can do for now within the organization. Also, another thing we suggest our clients when they come to ELSA or any company that provide technology support is using a tool that track their learning activities and progress throughout the time. So instead of just measure the starting point and end point of learning process, it's also helpful to track throughout the process and understand how they are doing. Because one of the critical things is when we design a program, it's a program for many people. But we also understand personalized learning experience is much more helpful. Because even though, for example, English speaking skill, we go to the same class, beginner, but we have different issues. And with a class that teaches very hard to address each and everyone's problems and to help them fix right away. And not many people have the advantages to have one-on-one tutor all the time. You only can have that for 1 or 2 hours a week, for example. And so with the technology, it's helped the teachers as well, not just the manager or L&D. The teachers, the learner to see how they are performing, looking deeper into the data. The data tells a lot and help us to identify what we need to prioritize at that certain point of time. Because we also have many problems to solve, but cannot do everything all at once. So we can, based on the data, to decide whether we should, for example, change the learning goal. Sometimes too stressful learning goal can demotivate learners. So we see, whether, because they have busy working schedule as well, so you can adjust based on that. And also the teachers see the data show the top mistakes your learners making, so they can adjust the lesson as well. I want to focus more on these skills or this sound, so they can improve that better. That's one of the things you mentioned, confidence. When people only feel confidence when they they can convey the right information to the audiences. If I say one thing and you understand another thing, the next time say, should I say it or not? It's the fear of making mistakes also very big. So with the technology, they can see the feedback as well at their time and to improve. Also another thing that we also suggest, Nguyên also mentioned, that hear feedback from their peers.
feedback from the L&D in the organization, and also feedback from line managers and clients as well. If you want to measure the effectiveness of the training program, one of the things we also suggest the client to circle back to the reason why you asked for the training program. What behaviors, what use cases that you want to change from the current situation? Because there are always reasons why you want to make communication skill training program for everyone. And the line manager have the reason why they send their employees to this program. So looking back at what behaviors or use cases you want to improve, then based on that, after like 3 months or 6 months, we can come back and see if they have any changes in behavior. If we see changes in behaviors, that's where the learning process complete. Not just attend a class or look at the material, but they have made some changes, positive changes, of course. And these are some like message we receive from clients. Really encourage us as service provider, but we believe that the employees who receive this feedback, they're so happy, they're willing to learn, there's less procrastination. Imagine in the morning you receive a message from your client saying, hey guys, in the last meeting, your like communication skills, your speaking skills so like amazing. We understand a lot much better than the previous conversation. That would be, I think, the best things that we want to receive after a lot of effort. Or like over there, we have also sharing from one of our clients, Phối. They are making footwear for also other very famous brand like Nike. So one of our learners, she's practiced a lot, and before that, she was like very nervous and shy. She has a lot of information to share, but very shy to express in English. But after learning and practicing for a while, she was selected as a representative employee to present for that company in front of the director of Nike when she visited the company. How amazing is that? If you're that person, you'll feel very proud of yourself. And even her line manager was so proud. He sent us these pictures and saying, I see the investment in people is the best decision that we have ever made. And I think these kind of stories and use cases, so circle back to the question how to measure, we can look back at the use cases, situation we want to improve. And that will require a lot of observation, I know. But for L&D, it takes time to prove if people improve or not. And for communication skill, when we have the scenario, the situation they perform, that is I think the strongest story that we can prove for the effectiveness.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Lin. So from your sharing, we can understand that in order to effectively measure the outcomes of any communication skills training, we need both data, this means the technology, and the human, right? The data tells a lot, but I think with the combination of human, we can tell a lot more, right? Okay, so now let's come to the second pain point that Ms. Gunan has just mentioned. It's about the practice. So mainly for corporate context, our main target learners are the adult learners, right? And they have very hectic schedule for every single day. So as a training provider, right, and as an HR professional, how do you encourage your learners to practice? Yeah, because practice makes perfect, right? So Ms. Gunan, can you share what have you done at Sanofi to encourage your members to practice their communication skills?
As I say, that we have a lot of course. We invest a lot of money for online course. We call Sanofi University. We have a book boom, Coursera, we have a GoFluent, everything. It's interesting in the world we bought it. But keep the secret here, very little population go to that platform to study. So in the science in Vietnam, we create a lot of practice to employee involvement. We have a committee model. You know, if you go to the university and you have a club, like English club something, we also have the same thing. And we have an English club, we have a learning club, we have a digital club, and each club leading by one of our talent. So they can improve, the talent can improve by leading the group, and our culture also be improved. We have a program we call the KSP, Knowledge Sharing Program. It's happening weekly on Friday. So one of the employee volunteered to sharing whatever you want to share. You feel confident about it. For example, I feel I want to share about makeup. I want to share about how to use the Outlook effectively. Some kind of thing, anything you're confident. And also far, we have a 62 session already happened. And it created a culture. Now, you know, someday suddenly we don't have it. The employee will come and ask you. So I think that's a very nice culture we already created.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Quinnan. So it means that creating a learning culture at your organization can be a solution that boosts them to practice, right? And I wonder about ELSA, right? As a technology provider, so how ELSA can encourage the learners to practice more?
Yeah, we think about this every day. It's actually also design measurement, how to keep them engaged. It's also a requirement that we receive a lot from clients. I'm not sure if you guys can see the information from the screen, but because a lot we want to tell, we combine everything in one word, great. It's an acronym for, first of all, G for gamification. What Quinnan also just shared is another fun way for people to apply and practice what they learn. Not assessment test, but a situation for them to use what they learn. That is fun. And in the app, they can, for example, if they practice before, they can speak English in front of people. They can practice some other components in speaking skill, like pronunciation, fluency, intonation, and so on. They can use our app to practice and fix these small skills in speaking skill in general. And these games gonna help, like, it's designed bite-sized training, so they can at least spend like 10 minutes a day to practice every day. And also activities that we work with our clients. Any clients that like very creative, like Sanofi company, they have clubs, they have university that provide programs, so we can work with them to create some contest, competition, and a chance for people to speak about the topic they like. It's easy. Talk about finance will be hard, but talk about something related to their workplace or the life situation will be much easier. And with the R, real time, it's a nice thing that technology can be a tutor. Like, even you can learn at night after work or in the beginning of the day, in the morning. I even have learner when he prepared milk for his little baby. That's when he practiced with ELSA. He said, like, throughout the day is very busy, and in the morning I feel energetic and I want to practice just 10 minutes a day. And real-time feedback can help you remember right away the errors that you're making, the mistakes that you make, so you can improve. Because if after a few days we forget what we did, we don't remember. So how, let alone the mistakes, right? And also in the app, there are features for you to have role-play conversation with AI. That's where you also can prepare for a real-life situation when you really in that context setup and you have to speak. The E is efficiency. As you know, when we have clients coming to ELSA, some people have limited budget, some people have a lot of money. But the beauty of technology is it can serve like variation in the resources that you have. You can design small program or big complex program with technology, and the technology here help you to have like flexibility to choose what you think that's suitable for the company, and the learners can it's kind of like cost saving is also, I believe a lot of HR also have to present initiatives to their line manager, so that is something we try to help here. Accessibility is also, I think especially when we talk about learning English speaking skill, not a lot of people have the ability to study abroad or have a foreign friends to talk to. So technology can help people if you in Ho Chi Minh City, big city, or in small provinces, or even your employees working in rural areas. They have a tool to learn English. Everyone have a chance to improve English skills in general. That is I think that's the chances for them if they want to improve their life quality as well and career. So technology can kind of like break the gap between where you're living, the living condition, and also the budgets that a company can have. And the final T that we talk about here, transferable knowledge, is also something that's going back to the communication skill. Because when we learn something, it will be helpful if it's contextual information. I mean, they learn something really close to what they have to use. They have to apply the scenario that they will be in. So it's faster for people to digest because it's familiar with you and you can easily apply. Especially works for busy people. When clients come to us, they want to say, hey, I want our employees just to learn that part because we're going to use that information in the workplace. Other things, hobbies, traveling, I don't care. I want them to have conversation in the workplace. Even we have some like requests like that because they don't have a lot of budget and time. So they just want to have focused content to deliver. So that is, for short, great. We want people to become from like very basic level to good and to great level. Okay.
And then, I think that's very nice for me because I didn't say that the culture we have created by the committee of club is very effective, but we spend a lot of resource for it. I mean, the people. They must go extra high and they stretch out on their daily job and they create something activity. So I think this is quite nice for me that can resolve it.
Okay, so I also think that the great model is great, yes. But I think it's more about like the external motivation, right? You make it affordable, you make it accessible, and you tend to gamify the activities to boost their practice. And how about the intrinsic motivation? It means the motivation from inside. And I believe that Ms. Langan is an expert at that. And she has been working with the adult learners for 14 years now, right? So can you share, how can you drive your adult learners to enhance the motivation?
Thank you, Sonia. So believe it or not, I'm always a fan of intrinsic motivation because with your support as an HR, L&D, and also trainers, you cannot be with learners forever. Do you agree? But the only thing that you can really inspire them to really continuously learning for their lifelong journey, that is the intrinsic motivation. Because unless you are aware of the challenge yourself, and then you touch the pain of the challenge, then you're going to change. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Right. So now you have a question. So how can you stimulate that intrinsic motivation in your learners so that they can carry the lifelong journey with themselves? I usually consult with our HR, L&D, and corporate professional before every training. you may consider conducting one private coaching session with your learners in order to ask them the series of following questions. The purpose of those questions is that you will help learners be aware of the importance of that skill, and then they taste the struggle of going without it. So these are some questions you can consider. So first, you may ask them what are some contexts that you need to use communication skills. And can you please share with me one incident, one example that you taste the pain of communication skills? Because of not having it, that's why you bear with the suffer. And another strategic question you may ask, that is, what makes you think you have that challenge? That is a strategic question. Because the purpose of that question is that it helps your learner's brain taste and reflect about the incident they have. And unless they can reconfirm, they can self-persuade themselves in order to realize the importance of communication, then they will stimulate their intrinsic motivation to learn more. So those are some sample questions that you can consider asking your learners in the private coaching section. And I hope it helps you with your intrinsic motivation stimulation.
Okay, I also agree that whenever you come to a training, you must know the reason why you are there, right? And with the intrinsic motivation, it can help you to study better, right? So let's come to the last pain point, as Ms. Gunan had just mentioned. It's about how can we select the right solution or the right vendor, right? So I think that for this one, Ms. Langan can share first, right? So you have been working with a lot of corporate professionals, so how do you give them pieces of advice, on how to select the right one?
I think before you come to select the vendor, you may ask yourself these three questions first. The first one is where your learner's level is right now. The second one is where do you want them to be, based on job description, based on KPI, based on the competency for that role, or based on industry standard. And what kinds of skills gap, what is the skills gap that they are lacking right now in order to reach to your destination. Unless you are able to ask yourself those three questions and you have your own answer, then you think about the training provider. Because training provider is just only one of the ways to help you address skills gap. Don't come to them immediately before you know your challenge, you know what you want. Because sometimes some of clients just come to me and ask me to solve their challenges. But the point is, I cannot solve their challenges unless they know their challenge. And then I will help them solve it. If they are not clear from inside out, how can the doctor support them to cure it? Unless that you are as a patient, you tell the doctors you have these symptoms, you have these challenges. Then they will diagnose more and give you solution later, right? So please don't come to us before you know what your challenges is.
Okay, and how about Ms. Gunan? Okay, can you share your experience when you try to choose the right one for your organization?
I would say it's not 100% success. As I said the story at the beginning, it still fails sometimes. So normally I must get the reference from my colleagues in the other companies. So I must ask their experience, how they choose. The last, actually we already go corporate with EY. That's a reference from my college also. To be here today, I also going through the course of the EY, and I hope it's fluent public speaking today. I remember I have one experience choosing the trainer course. So that's one I must find by myself. So I go to the online internet and I search for 20 supplier. So I shorting with the procurement team and select for one. And then they send me the 20 another trainer can delivery that course. So you pick it. That's another challenge again. So at that stage, I think I will close my eyes and pick someone on that. So normally by the reference and internet, sharing by myself.
Okay, so that's such a very painful experience, right? Choosing the wrong one. And how about ELSA? I would like to ask you.
So before I answer the question on behalf of ELSA, I would like to share more about my personal viewpoint, because I was also in HR before I joined doing customer success, so I understand like the challenges from both sides. To be honest, I would like to say, before we say, how can I choose the right vendor, is a very, I think we should not target to choose the right, because nothing is completely perfect. And it's not like you're shopping for yourself. Sometimes you understand yourself very well, but HR is serving a lot of people with hidden demands and troubles and issues. And they come to one doctor and say, hey, cure them all with one prescription. And I want to see them like healthy after 3 months. So it's a burden if HR put the question, which one is the right one? I think which one is suitable at this point of time with what I have, with the issues that I want to solve, one thing at a time. One thing at a time. If you do it great, it's much better than you do a lot of things but no outputs, nothing's returns. And if you spend a lot of money and you don't see the outcomes, that's another burden, right? So it's just going in a circle. So I think, first of all, just agree totally with you. Understand what we need to do, one thing at a time. And learning is a long process. And for HR, if you, like now we come back to ELSA. That's the personal viewpoint from HR, professional. When we have clients coming to ELSA, they say, hey, technology can do very fast. They sign the contract, they want to tomorrow activate everything. So we say, hey, hold on, I want you to give us money as well. But let's step back and see how you are doing training right now in your organization. Because technology cannot do your job. Service provider cannot do your job. Well, actually, my line manager said, hey, don't say that, HR will not be happy. But I have to be very honest with you. When we do training program, service provider can only be a partner, but you are the owner of the task. You understand your organization condition. Your employees need much more than what we can touch. So one of the things that we always say, before we activate and tell people to learn, let's go back and see the model that you are having right now in your company. Is it a benefits program or is it a compulsory training program? Sometimes the learner, they don't understand thoroughly what is the expectations, to be honest. So they just sign up, and then after 3 months they come back, HR say, hey, you're not performing well, but they don't know what they are expected to do. A lot of things like that. And communications is something also need practice, right? You cannot just to go to the classroom, see how the teachers do, and explain the technique, but they have to do it themselves a lot of times, and it becomes their skills. So we also, after learning about the learning training program and the conditions they have, and we customize what they can, like we call implementation plan or the HR. So there's a lot of techniques here, but we would like to share also a recent model that we work with some clients. It's a combination of technology and human trainer. Why we introduce this model? Because we find it suitable and works well for communication skill. In this model, you will see there's a combination between what they learn in the classroom with the teacher, and as Năng said, the trainer and the teacher cannot be with them like every time when they need, right? So after they learn, they can practice. We designed New Speak specifically for English speaking skill. They practice with the app, and they can choose a topic that they want to practice. They can practice the sound that they still struggle, and they can use AI as a role-play partner to practice scenarios that they prefer to. And throughout the time, the teacher and the trainer can see the data from the dashboard, and then can come back and advise as well when they meet in person with the teacher. And throughout these practice and assessment from the starting point, meet the point and end point, it will be at least give the HR first of all, the information, but more important, learner have the setting, the opportunities to practice. That is the most important part if we want to see outputs, practice. And practice here also help to improve their neuron, their mind as well, scientific information. So learning new things help us be smarter. and that is the model that when we consult with recently for skill like communication skill, we also work with partners like EIY to provide to our clients.
Okay, thank you for introducing to us such a very, I think, effective one, the blended learning model. So throughout the panel discussion, we've been talking a lot about how we combine human and technology into the communication skills training program, right? So now, can we do like a short demonstration for our audience here to see how it is going, right, for our corporate clients? Okay, so the next one, Mr. Năng from EIY will share with you about how we can combine human as the trainer and also AI to master the skills in communication. So please welcome her.
I'll ask you this. If you are a learner of a communication class or presentation class, do you see what are some of the challenges of human communication trainer? Okay? What are the challenges of communication trainers?
Yes.
Hello everyone. I think like the challenge of the communication trainer is that how to drive the knowledge and the experience to the learners. Like I have joined kinds of several classes from my company to learn how to communicate well and how to apply it to my work. But while I learned this, just their experience, not my experience. So it's kind of hard for me to apply to my real work, my real time, my real life. So I think it's one of the challenges that how to help the learners can use it in real life. How can apply it?
It means how the application factor.
Yes, the application.
Thank you. So anyone here compared to AI coach, what are some of the challenges of communication trainers that you may notice?
I think the challenges of learner is deep understanding of their story and their problem in life, and we can resolve the problem for them. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you. How about others? Maybe one more? Good.
So could you repeat the question?
Okay. Compared to AI coach, what are some of the disadvantages of communication trainer as a human coach? What is our disadvantage compared to AI coach?
Okay.
for AI coach is intermittently answer the student question and can study at any time, at any place with the student own convenience. And for human trainer, we have to come to class. Yeah, that's it.
All right. So which means that we need to spend time with learners. That is the disadvantage, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Do you want to share?
Hi guys, again. So I think that the main disadvantages that a human coach may deal with is that comparing to AI, just like she said, because we have our own busy schedule, so we cannot spend like 24/7 of our time to the students. So it will be one of the biggest challenge. And another challenge is that we are human and we are limited and we are emotional. So we cannot compare our knowledge to AI. So sometimes as a teacher, my students ask me a lot of, like banging questions that I cannot even answer. So that is, I think, one of the disadvantages of a human coach. Yes, thank you.
Great, thank you. And apart from those challenges, because as a human, do you agree with me that we are emotional? Okay. And because we are emotional, that's why sometimes we are biased. You agree? Yes, okay. So that's why that with the development of AI, we leverage AI in order to increase the precision and accuracy of the result of learners. That's why that today EIY and ELSA, we partner together in order to increase those accuracy and also make sure that we have a correct result for learners. And now I'm going to demonstrate to you how we can combine together. Alright, you can see here on the video, before every communication training or presentation training, we're going to ask our learners to do the placement test. We call public speaking and presentation placement test. Okay? And we ask our learners to present like this. The point is that as a human coach, maybe sometimes we give bias to learners' performance as well, because maybe we like them or we dislike them. But AI cannot lie. They may give you the accurate answer. And this is her result at the beginning of the course. Only 58%. Alright. And after the journey of learning with us, this is her. I think that maybe we can show the video of learners at the beginning. Okay, here.
Hello everyone. I am working in the field of marketing and sales. Today I would like to apply for this job.
Okay. Now you can see.
To learn new things.
You see her challenge in English, right? How do you feel about her English?
You can share, everyone.
I think let's give her.
So hello everyone. I think her English is pretty good. Her pronunciation is very well, but I mean her fluency is not really good, so she can convey her messages clearly.
Yes, right. So the challenge is her fluency, right? You're exactly correct. So this is the way that we incorporate ELSA into our learning journey, and we understand that these learners have challenge of fluency and also intonation. Alright, and those are the two areas we're going to work on as a human coach. And this is her result after joining our training.
Good morning everyone. My name is Phối. I have had 3 years of experience working in marketing and sales. As you know, it is very challenging for a worker to adapt to
Again, can you share with me the difference?
Yeah. I think after she studied us, her English is really well, and I think the more important is she is more important, and I think after the class she can study the way she can show her idea to everyone better.
Thank you. So she not only use English, but you can see that she projects confidence in the way she uses her facial expression, hand gesture, and also voice as well. So those are the points that we're going to train her in order to become a confident person like that. And the way we measure her performance is not only based on human coach, we see the results significantly increase, 84% compared to 53% after learning around 1 or 2 months. Alright, now I'm going to demonstrate to you how we are doing that by inviting you joining an exercise of communication training. Are you willing to do that? So you experience how do we learn in the class. Alright. Now can you help me group each other into a pair? 2 of you will be a pair. 2 of you. 2. Miss Zhang, maybe you're another person with Miss Yang. Sophia or you would like to join?
Example, but because of the time we cannot do it all. But to wrap up, what we try to show here is the, especially when we talk about communication skills, there's a lot of things, appearance, performance, facial expression, and so on. That's when we cannot replace a teacher, a trainer. But with the technology, we can empower the teaching experience and so learning experience for both in order to help the learner master the skill faster and effectively. And when we say about practice, it's not just when we do the demo, you can imagine when you're in the classroom setting, we're doing this like that. But not a lot of people have a chance to practice, to do as commanded, even though we have already people work together. But in order for the teacher to help you in 1 or 2 hour classroom session is very hard. So we have another tool for ELSA AI. So everything is about AI. But this new feature, you can have your free speech conversation with AI in a setting as a role play conversation. So here, ELSA will play. You can set your own scenario, or you can choose the scenarios that we already have in the app. And for example, you play a role as the HR recruiter, and then ELSA play as the employee, or you can change the role and you practice for that scenario. Here, even though you just speak what you think from your mind, at the end of the conversation, ELSA AI will give you feedback. And the feedback here more about also the skill for learners' pronunciation, fluency, and also have feedback on the expression that you are using for this context. You should say this and not saying that. And those are, I think the technology can very useful in this case, that you can practice at your own pace, at your convenience. And at the end of the day, when you come to a setting like this, you can be more proactive. Because if you, like on me, we do not, anything new, we're nervous. To be honest, if we haven't done it, we're nervous. We are afraid that we make mistakes. But it's something you do it every day. Then when you're in a setting and you have to apply, it's something that you're familiar with. And this is where we try to help the learners to have another chance that apply what they learn and with their own scenario. So just want to share a little bit more about also the new feature and how technology can work well with our human trainer.
Yeah. So sorry, because I haven't got a chance to try the AI class from ELSA, but I'm just kind of wondering, could you set up, this is the context that really like an interviewing, right? So is it a ready-made text for the user to try to speak on, or is it depend on the experience of that person to communicate with, the machine?
Okay, thanks for your question. Specifically for this feature is a free speech. Yeah, because when we work with learners, like ELSA have been providing service for many years, and we have people who do not know what to talk about, don't know how to start. This is where they can learn with ELSA Speak app. We have the conversation, the script already there. We call scripted speech for them to practice. This is a new thing for people who already have some, foundation. And to be honest, it's very hard to create all contents that meet everyone's demands. So this is the feature that allows you to stick with your own content.
Right. Because the challenge is that, from my understanding, if we are chatting with ChatGPT, the person needs to be raising a smart question. Otherwise, if you give a silly question, then they will have a silly answer. So I just can't figure out, how it's worked out. If because, for example, if a candidate who had, because we are using the example from this context, right? So if the candidate is not kind of very experienced one, so if they are communicating with the machine with a very kind of not very kind of beginning of the interviewing, so what would the result would be?
Yeah, thanks for that question. It's actually an interesting thing from user viewpoint. So the first thing, this is a real situation. When we cannot make a right question, the conversation go like wrong direction. That is how it's going to happen in real life. AI only can help to pretend a human being to have a conversation. But if we're not clear about what we want to know, what we want to talk about, it may suggest some ideas. Hey, how about talking about even in for example situation you want to talk about hobbies, or how can I set a plan to travel with my friend? What should I prepare? Something like that. It can have a chat with you. But that is also something we need teachers here to help the learners form the right questions or how to start a conversation. And they can apply, they can even go to ask the teacher, how should I make the right questions so I get the right information? That is a critical part in communication skill, not just beginner. And because we're talking about not just English skill, but communication skill is something else. Even we struggle with our own mother tongue. So it's something that people need to practice. We have some scenario that we already there, set up here to recommend. And when they can start with this scenario first to understand the logic, and they can apply the scenario they want to make. But also your question is something that we working with the HR and teacher as well to help them set up at least some criteria before you start a conversation, what you need to make it clear. And should start with simple conversation first. And then when they get a sense of how they can have a good communication, a good conversation, I think when they come to real situation like this, they can, when I ask AI that question, it actually doesn't understand me. If I talk to you and ask you that question, maybe you have to ask me again what I want to know. So I think we try to create the technology that pretends to be a human being, but it also gives us another chance to reflect what we can do in real life. So I hope that is answering your question.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lin. So thank you for your sharing. So now our esteemed speakers, please go back to the stage. Oh, we're not finished. Yeah, we're not finished yet.
Rồi, mày nào.
Cần làm gì không?
1, 2, 3. Rồi, bắt tim không nè?
Nào, bắt tim.
Rồi, 1, 2, 3. Rồi, cá xin màu sắc quay nha.
Không hiểu. của ELSA